Do you think mentally tough people inherently sign up for the Marines, or do you think the Marines has the secret sauce to make people mentally tough?
I think we got a secret sauce. I think we create mentally tough people because you've never been through that in your life. People say they don't have a plan. I'm like, hey, look, you can go join the military, do this job for 4 years, stay in for 20, or you find an interest somewhere in something that you like doing. Now you have the time and the experience to dig into that interest more.
Welcome to Henderson HQ. This is the podcast where you get all the stories behind the businesses that make our community tick. Don't forget to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Hey everyone, it's Scott Groves with the Henderson HQ podcast. Today we're doing something a little bit different and interviewing Staff Sergeant Milsap from the Marines. A little bit of a departure from our normal business podcast format. But I will tell you, as a veteran myself, did some time in the Army from 97 to 2000, luckily before I had to shoot or get shot at in anger, which was nice. The discipline and the tenacity and the mental focus that I obtained from being in the military served me well in becoming a business owner and an entrepreneur. So I thought it was only fitting when Staff Sergeant Millsap reached out to talk about the recruiting opportunities for young people to go into the military, which I think can be an amazing way to kick your adult life off. I was like, yeah, sure, come in. Let's talk about the opportunities that the Marines have, how that's kind of a life hack for young men and women that maybe don't have a lot of direction. It was a great conversation. We talked a lot about the misconceptions of signing up for the military, the benefits you get while you're in the military, and then the head start it gives you when you get out of the military as a civilian. So enjoy the interview, and thank you, Sergeant Millsap, for coming in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Scott Groves with the Henderson HQ podcast here in Henderson, Nevada. I'm here with my new friend, Staff Sergeant Milsap. He's with the RSS South Vegas Division, which is really recruiting for the Marines. And as a young man who myself did not know what the heck I was going to do after high school, and quite frankly would have drank myself out of college, I enlisted in the Army. It's a funny story. The only reason that I took the ASVAB test, which is the kind of military aptitude test, is because alphabetically I knew I was sitting next to Danielle Kumas. And I'm Scott Groves, and I'm going to sit next to her for like 4 hours. I had a crush on this girl, so I took the ASVAB test. I don't know if I've ever told that story publicly before. And then all of a sudden, my senior year of high school, recruiters started coming around, and they're like, "Oh man, you scored really well. We could put you on nuclear sub, or you could, maybe go into like medicine in the military." And I'm like, "No, if I'm going to the military, I want to blow stuff up." So I became a mortar man and just a dumb, ground pounder. Luckily, I served from 97 to 2000 before I had to get shot at in anger. But the military, especially the farther away that I get from it, was just such a good experience for me, for discipline, for not going into debt, for not drinking my way out of college, because I had no idea what I wanted to do at 18. So when you reached out by email because you're a subscriber on the newsletter because your family just moved here to Vegas and you kind of wanted to know what's going on at Henderson, I'm like, yeah, this would be a great person to have on. Not exactly the business professional that we normally come with, but I know from my own personal experience and then other young men that I served with, like the military is a really good option for young men and women that don't quite have a direction. So Sergeant Millsap, maybe you could tell us about your story. You're an E6, so I know you've been in it for a while. But tell us about your story, about like where you started, how you got into the Marines, and then what that's done for you. And then we'll get into some of the recruiting stuff.
All right. Well, first, I want to appreciate you for answering my email and having me on your podcast. Is truly a blessing and a great opportunity for me to get the word out about what the Marines are. So my story is a little bit different. So I've been in it for now 11 years. I joined when I was 21, not the usual 18-year-old that joined, because before that I went to Mississippi State University. So I had a full academic scholarship to Mississippi State University. And the first day of class, I went to my biology 1 class, and I was sitting there. I got right in front of the teacher. I'm like, as close to you and me are right now. And she was like, well, today we're going to learn about the cell. Put down the slide and was like, the first thing I want to tell you is the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And I was like, I've been learning that since 4th grade. So I went to sleep in that class, woke up, there was a whole nother class there, and I just started focusing on what I really wanted to do was play basketball. And I tried to walk on at the Mississippi State, and I would have, but I ended up flunking out of school. And my mom hates it when I say flunking out. I needed a 2.5 to keep my scholarship, and I ended up with a 2.3. So
because you were like kind of uninterested?
I was just uninterested, didn't want to go to class. Like I literally would go to class just to take the test. So I would like find like the females that were like, because they're super studious. So like I would find the person that was highlighting stuff, study her notes, and then go to class, pass the test. And then I was just literally like flunked out because of attendance. So I wouldn't go to class for like the whole week except for just test days. So then at 21, I was like, one of my uncles, my uncle Lincoln, he came and like got me out of the bed and was like, "We're going somewhere. You got to do something. You're too smart to stay around Myrtle, Mississippi, not doing anything." So he took me to a recruiting office, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna join the Air Force because they're smart." And the Marine recruiter came out and was like, "Hey, what are you doing out here?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm trying to join the Air Force." And he's like, "Well, they're never here. Come here and just take this practice test for me." Took the practice test, made a 99, and I'm thinking that 99 is like 1 point away from 100. So I was like, "Hey, like, what is this? Like, I only made a 99. What can y'all show me what questions I missed?" And they were like, "You think that's the best score you can make?" I was like, "No, like I can make 100." And they were like, "Yeah, like come on over here." So I literally just told the recruiter, I was like, "Hey, how fast can you get me out of Mississippi?" And then 11 years later and a bunch of traveling and adventure later, I'm here. So trying to create the same opportunity for other people.
So, this is a very common story of men that I served in the Army for whatever reason want to get out of their hometown, either small town, they were into some bad stuff, they just didn't have a lot of direction. What was it that you wanted to like get out of Mississippi as soon as possible? Because like, that's where your family is there, right?
Yeah. So it was just for me, it was like I didn't realize it until I was like 8 years in the military that I was a role model to my young, because it's like my family has a big family. So I have 10 brothers and sisters. And then on top of that, we all have a bunch of cousins. So I didn't know that me being the oldest, that they looked up to me. So then everybody wanted to go to college because I was going to college. So then I didn't realize. So then I found out I was having a kid at 21. So I was having my first kid at 21, went to boot camp. He wasn't born yet. And surprisingly enough, I graduated boot camp August 22nd. He was born 3 days later, August 25th. So he is now about to be 11. So it's like, that's what I wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, like my son needs somebody to look up to, on top of the fact that if I'm a role model to everybody else, I might as well be a role model to him too. So I didn't realize how big of an impact I was making until like 8 years in, when 2 of my cousins joined and they're Marines too. And we're all about to be on recruiting duty. So it's just those type of things that I wanted to do, like outside of Mississippi, which I could have probably did the same thing in Mississippi, but I just didn't have any direction because I was like, oh, I'm just smart. Like I don't have any technical skills or didn't know about trades or anything like that. So my uncle was like my saving grace and was like, hey, look, like you're just going to sit down here and go crazy because you're way too smart to be just sitting here doing nothing or working at a furniture factory, and took me to a recruiting office.
How thankful are you to your uncle for getting you off the couch that day?
Oh man, like I can't thank him enough. Like every year I hit a different landmark and I'm like, hey, I appreciate you. Like, cause if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the life I have now. So like, yeah, it's amazing.
And I know in the Army, they call it MOS, which is your job classification. What was your primary job classification before you got sent here to recruiting duty?
I'm an electrician. So like literally wiring up houses, running the big generators. The way I describe it is like we run the big generators that you sometimes see behind buildings if like emergencies go down. But we do that every day when we go to like you said, you were a ground and pounder. So like when we go to the field and we are outside to provide power for the organization, that's what we do. That's my entire job.
Yeah.
So that job has created a bunch of opportunities for me to travel as well. So like I've been to places like Thailand, Philippines, Singapore, Iraq, and just recently 3 years ago, I just went to Africa and helped out, like build schools and provide power for the locals. So it's amazing.
That's awesome. And, I've thought this for about 20 years because I also didn't make it through college. I was bored out of my mind sitting at Pasadena City College. I'm like, I'm going to transfer to UCLA, start taking a couple of classes at UCLA. And I'm like, this is not for me. Right. So I just kept working and working harder and working harder. But I think we're kind of going through this transition right now where with AI, even with big tech companies being like, we don't really need a 4-year college degree, just take these certifications.
Right.
I think there's a lot more young men and women that are thinking about the trades, right? Learning to be an electrician. I'll never forget a guy that I signed up with in high school. He went into the Marines. He was like a diesel engine mechanic. he got out. He already had a bunch of prerequisite skills to go to, I think it was Caterpillar.
Right.
And, now makes really great money as a master mechanic on, Caterpillar, big machinery. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think when people think of joining the military, they're like, well, I'm going to shoot or I'm going to get shot at.
Right.
But a pretty small percentage of the military is actually pulling the triggers. Most of the job is like the support. It's like it's like the Marines and the Army are like a logistical company that happens to have some people that shoot guns.
Right.
So can you talk a little bit about the skills that like kids can find joining the military?
So with the Marines, we have over like 360 jobs that people could choose from. So like, just like you said, like we have the people that go out and they do the shooting and the combat related things, but we also have jobs where you could be an electrician, or you can even be a administrative guy where you just make sure everybody's paperwork is good. And you can even be a heavy equipment operator and a mechanic. So like we have jobs from all over the place, and even aviation. So like you could do anything in the Marine Corps that you set your mind to. So people are like, think they're going to be grounded and pounding the entire time. Like, nah, it's like what you usually do is your 9-to-5 job that you get trained to do, no matter if it takes that a year. So like our aviation jobs, most of them take a year to get trained on because it's really an important job. And then you have my job that took like me a month, that they taught me all the electrical stuff that I need to know.
So you basically learned how to become a basic electrician in a month?
Yes.
Holy cow, man. I'm telling you, the military is the best at training young men and women to do a job. Like,
because then the Marine Corps, you get sent to what we call the fleet, but it's like your first duty station where you have all your higher ups and your leaders, and they just teach you more because they've been doing it longer. So they teach you how to do all the advanced stuff. And then once you hit a certain rank, you go to your advanced school where you learn more stuff. So like I was 7 years in before I went to my advanced school, and I learned how to do the houses, just built on those skills I already knew. And then we have a program called the United States Military Apprenticeship Program.
Okay.
Where you can go in and you submit your hours to the Department of Labor, and whatever your job is. So my job as an electrician, I had to do 8,000 hours. That's basically just me going to work every day.
Right.
And log those hours in, and I have a cert from the Department of Labor that says, hey, this man is an apprentice in electrician. And I now, after 11 years, I have 4 of those, working on my 5th. So those type of opportunities are there that you can take that to a job and say, hey, I'm already a journeyman as an electrician, and you can start working right then. And you don't have to do like the 10 years of being a journeyman. They're already like, oh, you did 4 years of service? Hey, go work up under this guy, and then we're just going to keep going from there.
So I'm guessing since you've already done 11, you're going to do your 20 and retire, right? Get the pension. So when you get out in 20 years, you'll be 41, which, most people are staring down the barrel of another 20, 25 years of work. But you'll be able to walk into like any electrical union in the country and be like, hey, man, here's my certs. Here's my 25,000 hours of practical application. And it's not like you're starting at the bottom making $15 an hour. You'll be like probably right there at union wage when you get out. So it's not like you lost any time.
No, at all. And then that's the thing too. Like, even if I don't want to go into the electrician field, I have so many opportunities just from being in the military. Like, I run my own business where I clean and restore shoes. And 90% of my clientele is people I've been working with, and they have no problem saying, hey, here's my dirty pile of shoes, clean them up, I bring them back to life, and they're like, oh yeah, like this is amazing. So like that is what I've learned too, is like people may have a job being a crane operator in the military, but they may get out and do real estate. Like I know people that were mortarmen in the military, in the Marines. Now he's in California selling real estate to military members, making sure they use their VA home loan the appropriate way. So it's just different type of opportunities that you have, because you don't just have to use the certs that we give you. You can also do, like, I'm going to finish my bachelor's this month in business administration because I want to run my own business. So I can get out and do that after 20 years in the military.
So while you're an enlisted guy, there's opportunities, I imagine, just because of online internet access, social media. Like, not only are you a Marine, you've also got the side business you're building on your off time. And then I'm guessing the Marines paying for you to get your college degree.
They are.
And so you're going to get out. 20 years is a long time, especially when you're 18. It feels like forever. It's more than the life that you've lived. But it's like, it just seems like there's so many other opportunities. Like I kicked myself in the butt for the 3 years I was sitting around just drinking at Fort Riley, Kansas. I could have gotten like a whole degree out of the way if I would have just taken the night classes and the online classes and whatnot. And a bunch of young men did that. And, they either went the officer route and stayed in the military, or they got out with a bunch of education. So can you talk a little bit, let's go back up the story a little bit. When you started 11 years ago, what does it look like to get started? Like basic training, physical requirements, stuff like that. How do you get through that first year, maybe even the 6 months before you report to basic training? Talk about that lead up for young men and women that are joining the Marines, and then like what their first year might look like.
So the first couple of steps is you come in, we make sure we ask you a bunch of basic screening questions to make sure you're qualified. And then those questions are just, hey, have you ever been to the hospital other than anything routine? Have you ever did drugs? Have you ever had any police involvement? Have you ever taken the ASVAB? And if you have, what did you get? Like those type of things, because you need a 31 on the ASVAB to make it in the Marine Corps to even get signed up. And then once you come in the office for an appointment, we find out what you need. Like we find out what you want to do in your life, not what we need. So like we'll take you, you do the practice test. If you make hot 31 or above, then you're already halfway there, because that's the hard part, is what most people don't realize, is getting in through the mental part. And then after that, you join what we call the delayed entry program. And that's where you become a poolee. You'll see a bunch of people on our Instagram that have the red shirts. Yeah, that's what they're called. They're called the poolies.
I've seen them running by our jiu-jitsu gym off of Warm Springs a couple times a week. They're out there running and doing PT and stuff.
Yep. So those guys are the people that went down. They went to the military entrance processing station, got physically qualified, came back, and we give them a red shirt to show like, hey, I'm about to join the Marine Corps. So then during that whole delayed entry program, we take you and we get you, if you can only do 3 pull-ups, we try to get you to 10. So we're giving you the physical training. Like you said, you saw them running, you're doing all this stuff. We do that on a day-to-day basis, and that's what we even give you your own personal workout plans. Like I had a guy that came in, he was 24 years old. He was like, I've never worked out a day in my life. And I was like, hey, I got you. We'll use, like you say, AI. I said, you can type it into ChatGPT and get you a kettlebell workout, because that's what I do all the time. I do kettlebells and do a full body workout. And then once you come here, we'll work out with you as well. So like a lot of the process is us working out with them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then just having that physical fortitude and mental thing to go through and do it yourself. But then after that, you ship off to boot camp, and it's 3 months long. And I always tell people, don't worry about the physical part when you get to boot camp, because you're going to get in shape. Like I went to boot camp 21 years old, I was probably 160, 175, and I came back, I was like 150, 145. So you're going to get in shape. The mental part is what stresses a lot of people out, because a lot of us never been through that in our life. Like right. Never had somebody yelling at you 3 months, 24 hours a day. You wake up, they're there. You go to sleep, they're there. And then after that, you go to what's called Marine combat training. And that's where you learn how to shoot guns. You learn how to throw a grenade. You learn how to do all the patrols and stuff like that. And then that's when you get your MOS school. So before you even go to boot camp, we have you sign a statement of understanding of what occupational field you're going to get into. So you already know what job you're going to have. And then you go to your MOS school, and that's the first year of training.
So I think that's changed, because I think when I signed up in 96, before my senior year of high school in 97, 96, I think it was like in the Army, you could pick your job, but in the Marines, they kind of picked it for you.
No, so changed. We have changed, because me and my buddies just talked about this at work. We give you you choose your top 3. The top 3 jobs you're qualified for. And what happens with that is whatever job you chose, that's when that job becomes available, that's when you'll ship to boot camp.
Oh,
so like
cool.
If you want to do aviation, and aviation, you sign up today, and aviation isn't available until January of next year, that's when you'll ship to boot camp. And then if you choose, but unless you come and say, hey, I'm ready to go right now.
Right. Then you'll scale luck of the draw.
We're like, hey, this job is available, will you take it? Because there was a guy that came in, he was a poolee, and he came in like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, hey, I'm just ready to get out of here. And we're like, hey, the only job we got available is infantry. And he was like, okay, I'll take it. So then he's shipping out on Monday.
So like infantry's easy to fill, right?
Right. So like he's shipping out on Monday. So it's just those type of things, because it's not like, hey, you qualified, you're going to go do electrician for the rest of your life, and you're like, well, I don't want to do electrician. I want to work on cars. And I'm like, nah. So like we give you your top 3 that you qualify for, and when they become available, you sign a statement of understanding saying, hey, I understand that I'm getting this job, and this is the job I'm going to do for the next 4 years or the next 20 years or whatever it may be. And I think the process is a lot better than what it used to be.
Yeah. The way you're describing it sounds leaps and bounds. I probably would have signed up for the Marines other than like, I don't want to get to base training. They tell me that I'm like a fuel specialist or whatever. So the Army at the time for me was more appealing because I was like, well, at least I know I'm going to go to the infantry and blow stuff up. So we talked a little about the young men and women that might want to sign up for more technical skills, stuff that's maybe a little bit more applicable. I'm guessing you still get a fair amount of stuff that want to do the commercial stuff, right? They want to jump out of helicopters. They want to shoot guns. They want to blow stuff up. They want to be at the front lines. Talk a little bit about that. Like, what does that look like?
It's funny to say, I recently had a guy, he made a 83 on the ASVAB, and he's like, I just want to do infantry. I'm like, guy, you qualify for almost all of our jobs, and you just want to do infantry? He's like, yes, I've been in the office because he was in finance. He went to school, got a degree for finance, did it for a little bit, and was like, I don't like sitting in the office. So those guys, because I've been stationed with them before, they're always moving. Like if they're not in the ground training, they're getting classes about training. So like, but they do a lot of cool stuff. Like they get to shoot guns. They get to go to different countries and teach locals how to shoot guns, local military. When I was with them, when I went to Iraq, we taught the Japanese how to do different techniques with guns. We taught the Iraqi army how to do different techniques with the guns. And it was just an amazing feeling of what to do when you're part of that type of environment. Because they're always training. Like it's never a day off. And then when they do have a day off, it is fun. Like when we were in Thailand, we got to go out and see the cuisine and people just giving us stuff, and it was just an amazing experience.
Maybe have a drink or two.
Yeah, maybe. So it was good. It's not. It is going to be hard. Like we tell people when they come and talk to us, like 1% of the military joins. 1% of America joins the military, and then another 1% of that military joins the Marines because it is hard. Like it's not a simple task to be a Marine because you're always under a microscope somewhere. So like somebody's always watching you. And what we teach people is like, if you wouldn't do it in this uniform, then don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. Like people think, oh, I'm a Marine, I can do this, I can do that. But really it's like, it's hard because you're always under a microscope. And if you've never had that in your life, then it just makes it even harder.
Yeah. How do the Marines differ from the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Coast Guard? Because it's like, even when I talk to people today that are former military, there is a big difference between people that are former Marines versus former Army. It's like, I was a soldier. And people are like, no, I am a Marine.
Yeah.
And it's like, they could have served in Vietnam 45, 50 years ago. And they're like, no, I am a Marine. Like that's foundational to like who I am.
That's our culture.
Yeah. Can you talk a little about that culture?
Like our culture is like, literally you will always and forever be a Marine. Like no matter when you served, we even have people come in that were from Vietnam to the office, and we could pick up a conversation. He served almost 30, 40 years ago. I'm serving today, and we talk like we were right there together. Like it's ingrained in you in boot camp that you are a Marine and you're broken down from what you used to be, and you're not called a soldier or airman from the beginning. You have to earn that title of a Marine, and that's what it is. I don't think that's what it is. I know that's what it is. Because once they give you that EGA in your hand.
What's an EGA?
The Eagle Globe Anchor. So once they give you the Eagle Globe Anchor in your hand after boot camp and you get through with the Crucible, that final event in boot camp, you're just like, all right, I earned this. Like, this is mine. Like, I am a Marine. So it's like you will always have that because it's ingrained in you from the day you step foot on those yellow footprints in Paris Island or San Diego to the day you graduate boot camp all the way until the day you get out.
Did you go to Paris Island or San Diego?
Paris Island. Oh, yeah, I went to Paris.
You got hosed, man. San Diego's so much nicer.
No, San Diego is, and I'm probably going to catch a lot of stuff for this, but like San Diego is a different mental game to go to boot camp there. Because I was in San Diego for 5 years before I came here. Seeing planes go over your head, seeing traffic, seeing just civilization happen around you while you're going probably the worst thing you ever thought of in your life is I could not have done it. Like,
it's more of a mental.
It's more of a mental game in San Diego. Like Paris Island, like you're cut off. Like you don't know there's people got cars anymore. Like you were getting news from news clippings in the mail, and none of us even were reading the newspaper anymore. I went in 2014. Like the newspaper wasn't really a thing anymore.
Right.
And that's how we were getting our news. Like people were writing us letters like, hey, this new song dropped. This new video came out. But in San Diego, you see everything because you're right in the middle of like downtown San Diego. So everything just surrounds the boot camp. And you can see planes taking off every day. There's an airport right there. You see traffic because the 5 is right there. Like it's a different mental game. And I get more grace when it comes to that part, the mental part. But like the physical part, Paris Island is different because I went in the middle of the summer and it's 118 with 130 humidity. So like you wake up sweating, you go to bed sweating. It's just always different.
People tried to warn me about that when I went to basic training in Georgia because that's where all the infantry boot camps were. I think it still is. And I'm a California boy. So it's like, I lived in the high desert, like Palmdale is where I went to high school. And, it's 100, 110. We're doing wrestling practice, running in August and September. It's hot. Right. And people are like, no, you haven't felt hot until you get in the humidity. I'm like, how different can it be? I got off the bus in Atlanta. it's like stifling. I reported to base train, I think the beginning of August. And, same thing. It's like 100 degrees with like 100% humidity. Yeah, it takes your breath away. And you cannot get clean. No. You're just sweating from sun up till sundown. You take a shower, you get out, you feel like you're already sweating. It's a different animal.
So that part is what, like, I feel like the physical part, especially if you go in the summer, but they have it mental. All 4 seasons, you see that. Like, it's like life never stops. And you're just sitting there like watching the planes, and you can't even really watch the planes because then the drill instructors make you go chase the plane. So then it's like you never win. So I always tell people when they're about to ship to boot camp, like, hey, like, don't worry about the physical. Like, we're gonna make sure you have the physical part down, and then the mental is what you need to worry about. Like, if I told a guy the other day, I was like, hey, if you have a girl that you're scared to talk to, go up to her. The worst she can say is no, but your mental is getting prepared, like, for boot camp because you're gonna hear no for 3 months.
Yeah,
and they're like, I don't understand. I'm like, well, you will. Like, you'll understand. But you just got to build that confidence in yourself.
Do you think it's kind of like a chicken or the egg? Do you think mentally tough people inherently sign up for the Marines, or do you think the Marines has the secret sauce to make people mentally tough?
The secret sauce. I think we got a secret sauce. Because like I said, like, you've never been in any military, you've never been through anything like that before. But Marine Corps boot camp, you can watch any video, anything like that. Those guys are aggressive from the day, not aggressive, they're just on you from the day you meet them to the day you graduate. Like, they're always your drill instructors. So you remember those guys. Like, I remember my drill instructor, like, if he walked in here right now, I'll probably stop talking. Like, his name's Sergeant Carrillo. That guy, like, he didn't do nothing crazy to me, but it was just like, I remember him because he made an impact on me. So, like, I think we create mentally tough people because you've never been through that in your life. Like, and it's hard for, I say, recruiters because we can't really prepare you for that mental part. Because then if we do that now, you'll be like, yeah, this ain't what I want to do. Like, I don't know now. This is like this all the time, every day. Like, no, I don't want to do this. Yeah. So then our job is to, like, prepare you, like, at least physically. And then we can tell you our stories, but you don't believe. It's kind of like with your parents. Like, you don't believe nothing they're saying until you actually go through it. So that's what we try to do. So I think we make mentally tough people because we put that mental toughness on you by physically putting you through something.
Yeah. You've been around long enough now, 11 years, and you've had family members sign up, and I'm sure you've seen other soldiers you served with, the Marines you served with, ETS. How does that mental toughness then translate and help people when they get back into the civilian world?
Oh, amazingly. Like I said, like, I've seen people go from being heavy equipment operators to now they're doing real estate and they knew nothing about real estate. They just was like, hey, I want to sell houses. I bought a house. I want somebody else to buy a house. Like, that mental toughness helps a lot because it's one of those things that people think when I get out, I don't know how to transition. But the military gives you, I know the Marines, I don't know about the other branches, but they give you a full week of They call it the transition readiness seminar, and they make you go through it even if you're going to reenlist. So every time I've been up for reenlistment, every 3 years, I've had to go to that program, and it's changed from the first time I went all the way to now, because now they break it down to I can never remember the fourth one, but they have 4 programs where they go entrepreneurship, straight to the job force, and then educational, and I can't remember the fourth one. But you can go every week to a different one and learn different things. I had a Marine who went for 2 months. He went every week to a different one just to see if there was going to be new information. Yeah. And whatever you want to get into, if you want to go get out of the military and go straight into education, and education wasn't your thing when you first joined, but you want to use your GI Bill, they teach you how to do it, and they even teach you, like, hey, this is the mental things you're going to go through, and this is who you can talk to. So I think the mental toughness it prepares you a lot, because that's our motto too. Is like, not only do we make Marines, we make better citizens too.
Yeah. So I think about that. Like, I think a lot of people have in their mind, it's like, well, if I sign up for the military, I got to do 20 years to retire and get my benefits. But serving one term in the Marines or any military branch gives you a ton of benefits. Right. That gives you a leg up when you do get out, whether that's in 20 years or 4 years. So can you talk a little bit about those like civilian benefits of having served the country?
So you get benefits by the Veteran Affairs. They give you the GI Bill. You get the home loan.
What's the GI Bill at these days?
The GI Bill is basically you get your full tuition paid for, and you get a housing allowance, which is depending on where you live in the zip code. So for Henderson, it's $2,250. You get that just for going to school. So you could get you an apartment, you get a house, you can figure out what you want to do, but you're going to get that housing stipend just for going to school, as long as you're in.
So wait, the GI Bill now pays for school and gives you a housing allowance? This is a new thing since I got out.
And it gives you a monthly stipend for books too. So you get, not only does your tuition get paid for, but you get almost, depending on where you live. So like, say you're in Henderson and you go to Nevada State. So you'll get all your tuition paid for in Nevada State, the $2,250 for housing, and $1,000 for books. So you can get $3,000 just for using your GI Bill, and because you never went to school right out of high school, or if you've never been to college at all, you can use FAFSA and end up getting the Pell Grant and more money just from that. So we call it a life hack. Like, we tell kids, like, it's a life hack. Like, if you can get a extremely head start with your life just by joining the military, not even just specifically the Marines, because all of us, all the military branches do the education, we do the trades. So we tell them, like, it's a life hack no matter what you try to do. And then on top of that, you can get the home loan, which is basically a loan from the Veteran Affairs to any bank, and you can do that with $0 down, and you can buy you a house. So it's within your credit score, like whatever your price range is, you can go get you a house in Henderson as well, on top of making that money with the GI Bill.
Yeah. I think about, like, young man or woman right now that doesn't have a lot of direction, maybe had some stuff going on in their life where, like, they want to get more mentally tough. It's like, all right, well, at 18, you don't know what the heck you want to do for the rest of your life anyway. Go serve your 4 years, get out. Then you'll have a little bit more life experience. You'll probably know a little bit more about what your interests are. Get a degree in something that's actually going to serve you well.
Right.
Get it paid for by the military while you're getting a housing stipend. Buy a house with $0 down. By like 25, you're set up, man. You got a house, you got a college degree, you got a job, you got military experience, which always looks good on a resume. It's like, I don't know, it feels kind of like a no-brainer. What is some of the pushback you get from young people about joining the military?
A lot of pushback is from their parents. It's not specifically like the kids in general, or it's just them not knowing. So like I said, our job is to provide the information, but a lot of like you said, people think, oh, we're going to get shot at, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Like, I do 20 years, and then we're debunking those myths, and they're still like, well, I don't know. Like, my colleague the other day, he had a girl on the phone, and she was like, yeah, I'm interested. I'll come in for an appointment. Like, I'll be there at 2:00. And then at 10 a.m., she texted him and was like, hey, my parents weren't happy when I told them I was thinking about joining the military. I'm not going to come. And he was like, well, wait, your mom is the one that handed me the phone. I told her who I was.
Yeah, bring them.
Like, yeah. So that we tell them, if you want to bring your entire family into the office, for this appointment, or you want us to come to your home, like, we do not care. We're trying to get the information out, and if anybody has any questions, we'll answer them. Like,
Yeah.
we're trained to answer them. Because we've already done this. Like, we're sitting here in this uniform. We didn't just go buy this from Target. Like, we're sitting here in this uniform with our experience, because there's nobody in my office that I think the shortest time is like 6 years. So like everybody else, my boss is 2 years from retirement. Two of my other colleagues have been in 14, 13 years. And we have a plethora of knowledge between all of us to not only give you the information you need, but the information you want. Because like a lot of people, they just push back because they're like, oh, I know about the GI Bill, or I know this, I know that. And it's like, then why are we, like you said, like it seems like a no-brainer, whereas like a little bit of it is like mostly like the parents. Like we get pushback from the parents because they're like, I don't want my son to go away, I don't want my daughter to do this. And then we're like, well, what do you want them to do here? Like, you just told me they didn't have a plan. You don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, then what do you want them to do here?
Yeah.
Besides sleeping in your house, eating all your food.
And I what is it? Idle hands is the tool of the devil.
Yeah.
It's like when you don't know what you want to do or you don't have a plan, that's when bad stuff starts happening. You start getting in trouble, you get a little lazy, you go into debt.
Right.
And yeah, it's interesting because as a parent, I can totally understand the fear, right? You see stuff on the news, like from time to time, soldiers do get shot at and or do die. It's scary, right? Like I don't want to think about that for my kids. But like, for example, when you went to Iraq, was that during wartime when there was active conflict going on, or was that kind of afterwards?
It was like afterwards. It was like 2016. So it wasn't really a lot going on. Like I told a kid the other day, I was like, I didn't see a bomb the whole time. Like, I didn't see nothing going on. But they trained us as if it was still ongoing, because you never know what could happen. Anything could happen.
And what were you doing there in Iraq? Can you talk about that?
Building a like fob. We built like a little fake base and just was providing power for it. Like that was it. And then training the locals on like military operations and just nothing serious like that. Like do that on a regular basis here in the States. So, but yeah, like it was nothing. And I tell people all the time, like, the W in news means worry. Like, you can watch the news for an hour and you're going to send 15 stories about bad things going on. And then they're going to say, hey, somebody adopted a puppy.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, somebody adopted a puppy. All right, now this car crash happened. So like I tell people, it's just like always, the news is always going to create worry. So if you watch the news or you get your news from the social media, like, we barely know as military members what time we're going to go to work sometimes. Like, so you're calling us saying, oh, President Trump said we're going to do this, or this person said we're going to do this. Is that true? It's like, I don't know. Like, I'm just
above my pay grade, man.
Yeah, I'm just going to eat right now. Like, I don't know, but I get the worry too. Like, I'm a father as well, so I get the worry. But even my mom at 21 years old, my mom was like, "You're doing what?" You're not going? No, I'm 21. Like, I'm going.
Yeah.
And then
my dad didn't talk to me for 4 months when I signed up, because he expected me to go to college and be the first one in the family, go get like a law degree or something like that. And I signed up with the permission of my mom because I wasn't 18 yet.
Right.
And I mean, my dad and I didn't talk for 3-4 months. So, because he was upset.
Right.
But I can tell you retrospectively, it's the best thing that could happen to me. Because if I went to college with no direction, I would have been $100,000 in debt, no degree, and a drinking problem.
Yeah. And then my mom says the same thing. Like 11 years later, she's like, wow, like, I'm glad you did it. Like, I'm glad, like, your uncle took you, like, all this, because my uncle's on my dad's side. So at my dad's house, and that's when he dragged me up there. So my mom didn't know until I came and was like, hey, do you have my high school diploma? And she was like, well, you need your high school diploma, bro. So I'm finna go get a job. She's like, oh, so you are gonna go look for a job? You're not trying to go to school no more? I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go get a job. And then I went and joined the Marines. So I got my degree. I got my associates first, just to be like, hey, like, Mom, here, I got my degree. Like, the military is paying for me to get a degree. I am doing something educationally, and then now I'm getting my bachelor's, and I'll run my business. And she's like, yeah, I don't think you would have did any of that if you would have went back to school. Because I was trying to go to school to be an anesthesiologist, and I knew nothing about biology. Like, didn't care. Like, I knew enough. I knew the mitochondria was the powerhouse of the cell. Like, I didn't want to go, like, be a doctor. Like, I just thought that was the highest paying job that I could get without seeing blood and all that stuff. So it was just, I feel like it's a great thing for people to do, especially if you don't know what you're going to do. Because
what about those people that are going through college? Maybe they're coming up on their junior, senior year and they're like, oh man, I got a degree in electrical engineering and I could care less about electrical engineering. Obviously, there's an officer path in the Marines. What does that look like?
So the officer path is a little different depending on when you decide to do it. So like we have what's called the NROTC scholarship. So we're trying to get 18-year-old people that are your junior year of high school, senior year of high school, and then freshmen and sophomores of college. But the people that join after, like they've already got their degree, they already got that, they can come in and we'll take them to what's called the officer selection officer, and he'll look at their GPA in college and see if they can go that route. But the easiest route is, for me, like my opinion, is to join the enlisted route, do 3 years. You already got your degree. You can sign up to go be an officer. They call it they go to officer candidate school. And because you already got your degree, you'll automatically probably be selected to go there and then become an officer and just do the rest of your time that way. So there's different programs we have where you could become an officer. Like in the very beginning, if you're coming out of high school, the NRTC scholarship is the best thing to do because it's $180,000 to pay for your college.
Wait, say that again?
$180,000.
So if you're a high school senior, you want to go to college, but you're willing to sign up at the end of college, go become an officer. They'll put you a Marine, ROTC.
Yes.
And then they'll pay $180,000 for 4 years of college, and you just go owe them your time.
Yep. And then while you're in that, so like most kids, like I know for me, when I was in college, I didn't have no money. Like my college was paid for, my school was paid for, but I had to, hey mom, can I get some food? Can I get some money for food? Can I do this? We give you from the freshman year all the way up until you graduate, you get a monthly stipend that starts at $250 and when you're a senior it's $400. So you get that every month too, on top of your college being paid.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like those type of programs that we have to put people in place to succeed in whatever they want to do. So you can go get your degree in basket weaving and you win that scholarship, then we're going to pay for you to go get your basket weaving scholarship. And then you just owe us 4 years back on the back end to become a Marine officer. And you're going to get paid then too. So just life hacks all over the place and then a way to counteract and be productive in the world as well.
Yeah. So let's talk to the kid that wants to be the tip of the spear. They do want to be force recon. They want to do all the stuff in the movies. Like what's their path? Is it infantry? Like can you sign up? Like I know there's a program in the Army, very high washout rate, but you can sign up to go into the Army for special forces. Now you might not make it and they'll have to reclassify you some other job. But for those young men that are like, no, I've read all the books, I've seen all the Navy SEAL movies, I've seen all the Marine Force Recon. I want to be the tip of the spear of combat. What's the path for those people?
So it's the same thing. Like the Marines, they have what's called reconnaissance. You can sign up for that if you qualify for that job. But what we tell people is, you want to, because if you wash out, they're going to put you, it's needs of the Marine Corps then. So you can go from doing all this stuff where you're the tip of the spear to being a cook or being an admin Marine. Or now you're sitting at a desk and you're like, this ain't what I want to do. Like, so what we tell people is, because there's a high washout rate, take one of the jobs that you qualify for, if that is your top 3. And then after doing like a little 3 years, 2 years, they come around and they ask, who wants to be a Marine Raider? Who wants to do this? Do you qualify to do it? You can go try out. If you make it, you make it. If you don't make it, you go back to doing the same job you were doing for 3 years. So there's no like surprise of what you're going to be doing. Because we had people when I was in the basic school doing electricians, there was people that got washed out for whether they got hurt or whether they couldn't pass the test. They were electricians. It's not a bad job to have. They still got to travel, be with infantry, but then there was people who ended up being food service specialists. And they're like, I don't want to be a cook.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be a cook. I don't want to do this. Like, this ain't what I want to do. And then, so we tell people like, hey, you could sign up to be recon, but they have a high washout rate. Just like you said with the Army, like they have a high washout rate. So you're going to end up being reclassified in a different job that you don't love and you don't want.
Yeah.
Just go into one of these top 3 because we're like, hey, It's the top 4. It's going to be number 4 for right now. Choose top 3 jobs that you see yourself doing, and then you go from there and become a recon Marine. Because we even had I had a guy before I came out here. He, big, tall guy, 6'5", 6'6", wear a size 15 shoe, could swim like a fish, but there's a part of the recon training where no part of your body can come out of the water for 25 meters, and his shoe was so big, his heel kept coming out. When he would go back, try to go deeper, his heel would come out. He got dropped for that. But he got to come back to his unit, to our unit, and do his regular job that he was doing every day and keep training for that. Because now you know what you failed at, you can keep going. And it doesn't matter what happens. Like, you could be doing exercises, like buddy exercises, and somebody accidentally drop you and you get hurt. They're not going to drop the person that dropped you. Yeah, they're going to drop you because you're hurt. And then now you need to the Marine Corps. Yeah. So you may end up doing any kind of job like that. So that path, what we tell people is like, yeah, you could do it. First contract, sign up. But then if you fail, but it could be by no reason of your own. You could just get sick one day.
Yeah, dumb luck.
Yeah, dumb things happen. You could end up in a job you don't love, trying to get back to where you were.
What's the most interesting job that the Marines have that you either signed up somebody for or that you've seen in your time in service where you're like, people don't even know this job exists? Like what's some of the outlandish jobs where it's like, no, you can be a specialist in the Marine in this field and people might not even have this on their radar?
I would say the financial specialist. Oh. Like, there's a job where there's just a Marine that handles millions and thousands of dollars all day, every day. That's their job. And
they're like the bookkeeper of the supply bookkeeper or whatever.
And I didn't even know about that job until I went to recruiting school in July. There was a Marine there, and she was telling us about her job. Like, we had a section where we had to introduce ourselves, and she was telling us about her job, and we all in the class were like, what do you mean financial special? That's not admin? We're like, no, like, my job is to handle all the money around all the bases, and when we go to foreign countries, I handle that money too. Like, and I'm like, so you as like fresh newly Marine, not 5-10 years in, fresh newly Marine, you got this job and you're in a foreign country handling millions of dollars to do whatever we need to do with that money. And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. Like,
yeah, people don't understand, man. Like, when you've served, this is the kind of stuff that you can put on your resume.
Right.
That's going to make you stand out at a job. You know, I think of it like as a 21-year-old man, I was like, wait a minute, I'm in charge of the squad that, like, if push comes to shove, like, I'm making maybe life decisions for 5 other people. And we've got, I don't know, $10 million worth of equipment that we're riding on. And it's like, it's a level of responsibility that they get young people to at such a quick pace that I just don't think you can get that in any other discipline or any other job.
And you don't even realize it, like, till you get out of it. And then, because, like, if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't realize 90% of the stuff I do, this is every day. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So, like, when I do my evaluations and I'm like, oh, I, like, took care of $500 million worth of equipment, a civilian's going to look at them and be like, what? What were you working on? What were you doing? Me as a Marine, I'm just like, what? Been doing that for 11 years. Like, this is what I've been doing my entire military career. This equipment been here. Like, so I think that's what parents and, like, young people don't realize about the military is, like, we get you somewhere really fast. Like, you become an adult, an responsible adult really, really fast. So, like, we just sent a kid off to boot camp, I think 2 weeks ago, and we went to the school. I'm in charge of that school. Like, I recruit out of that school, and the teachers were like, yeah, we didn't think he was going to be a Marine. Like, we didn't know he was going to sign up for the Marines. So when he gets back from boot camp, like, my first thing is to take him to the school and be like, hey, look, like, this is this is what we do, because he is a good, goofy kid. Like, so, like, when he comes back, it's going to be, like, cool to see, like, the transformation.
Yeah.
So those type of things that we do, like, all the time.
And after 3 months of push-ups, a little broader shoulder, if you walk a little taller, like, that's good imagery for recruiting.
Right. So then, and then it ain't even, like, for me, it's not even about the contracts or the recruiting. It's about giving somebody an opportunity. That's what it was given to me. Like, it was an opportunity when I thought I didn't have any opportunity. So when people say they don't have a plan, I'm like, hey, look, you can go join the military, do this job for 4 years, stay in for 20, or you find an interest, like you said earlier, you find an interest somewhere in something that you like doing. Now you have the time and the experience to figure that and dig into that interest more. Like I knew I loved shoes. I didn't know I liked cleaning shoes. Like
A lot of shiny boots.
right,
Sure,
like
right?
I didn't know I liked doing it, but now if somebody brings me, I see myself like looking at people's shoes like, oh, I could fix that. I could do that. I could do that. But if I wasn't in the military, I wouldn't have time to do that. Like, because a lot of people don't know that we get paid leave. Like, we don't, like, before I started working as a recruiter, I was off work for 45 days, but my check didn't stop. Like, I kept getting paid. Any other job, you're fired.
Right.
No matter what's going on. So these type of opportunities I try to tell people about, and my team, we try to tell people about, because people don't know. Like, they know what they see on TV.
Right.
They know what they hear on the news. They don't know that we'll pay for college. They don't know that you can get a home out of the military, or you can get resume builders, not just doing your regular job, but going and getting certifications. So that's the type of stuff that we're trying to explain to the masses, and why I'm here today too.
And I know you and your family have only been in Henderson for a few months, but what are you finding about living in Henderson, liking it out here, and or the people that you're trying to recruit in Henderson? Are they open to the idea, or like just what's been your experience so far living in Henderson?
I love Henderson. Like, we came out here because my wife's best friend lives out here, so we came out here in November for Thanksgiving, and we were just like, this is like, you could tell it's getting built up, and so we liked it. And but since I've been out here since June or July, we came out here, and I like it. People are nice. Like, people are friendly. They're open to the idea, but there's a lot of opportunities out here too. Like, people have a lot of opportunities to do what they want to do. Like, they have trades, they have stuff like that that they want to do, and their parents are 100% behind whatever they're planning to do.
Right.
So, like, that's what I'm realizing too, is like the parents out here in Henderson are just 200% supportive. Like, I've never met a kid that was like, nah, I don't want to do it. And their parent was like, no, you need to get off my couch. Like,
Right.
I've never met a parent like that in my month of doing this. So, and if a kid, I've talked to a kid and they were like, oh, I talked to a kid my first week and he was like, I'm going to be a professional NASCAR driver. And I was like, all right, we're not even talking about the military anymore. How do you even do that?
Yeah.
There's
only 30 of them.
Right. Like, how do you even do that? And he was like, told me the whole process. And because he was like, oh, well, first you got to have some connections. I was like, well, do you have those connections? He was like, no. I was like, so how do you do it from there? And he was like, well, I got to start doing professional go-karting. And I was like, what's that? He was like, well, they take the go-karts they have at amusement parks, they'll take like some piece out of it, and now it makes it go faster. So they can drive at 80 miles per hour in these golf carts, or in these go-karts. And I was like, wow. So, like, how old are you? He was like, 18. I just graduated. I was like, and your parents are 100% behind this? Or you just like, I don't care, I'm going to do it. And then right when he was about to answer, I heard his mom in the background. I was like, hey, come on, we got a race to go to. And I'm like, you can never sign those people up and make them do it till after they, like, not say fail, but like they like, oh, like, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it ran its course, right?
Yeah. So, like, you can never sign those people up because their parents are 100% behind them. And that's what I'm realizing about Henderson, is that the parents are super supportive. So, like, no matter what we say, no matter what opportunities they are, the kids are like, yeah, that sounds great. But my mom and dad are right here. If they're going to go with it, I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
So I like that, because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have that when they're growing up. They're just like, okay, the military is like my family.
Yeah.
And,
well, the nice thing is there's a lot of veterans here. I mean, I met a ton of them,
right.
Parents that have kids. And it's like, you know, I would have some mental baggage around my kids signing up for the military, but at the end of the day, I would be supportive of them if that's what they want to do, because I know it was a good experience for me. Right. So what question, as we're wrapping up here, did I forget to ask you about either being in the Marines or thinking about becoming a Marine?
I think we hit everything.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to mention is the high schools that we represent and my whole team. So we cover Desert Oasis, Coronado, Silverado, and Liberty.
Okay.
In the Henderson area.
And you guys just moved your office recently.
We did just move our office. Our address for our new office is 2642 West Horizon Ridge, right in Henderson. And if directions aren't your forte, we'll always tell people is we're right across from the plaza with the Jollibee.
Okay.
So the Jollibee is across the street from us, and then if you look straight across, you'll see we're the only military branch in that area with a big Marine sign up.
And
So-
I noticed, unlike most of the people that I knew when I was active duty, again, this was 25 years ago, you respond to your email fast. So where can people email you if they want to get more information?
They can email me at nicholas.milsap, MILSAP, at marines.usmc.mil.
And we'll make sure we put that in the show notes and the YouTube and the Spotify and all that stuff, man. Hey, I appreciate you being here. Like, we'll have you back on in a year or so you got some more success stories about young men and women signing up, because like I said, I think it's a great opportunity. And like you said, it's a life hack for getting started, getting some skills, building the resume, making some money. And then when you get out, get a VA loan, get your GI Bill taken care of. It's good stuff. Thank you.
It is. Thank you.
Hey, it's Scott Groves with the Henderson HQ podcast. I hope you got something out of that episode. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. It really helps the show grow. And by the way, if you are a business owner or you know a business owner who has an interesting product, service, or just an interesting backstory, please get in touch with us. Email us at thehendersonhq@gmail.com. We would love to interview you, because that's what this show is all about. It's about building community, supporting local, individually owned businesses, and just making Henderson a great place to live. And don't forget, go to hendersonhq.com and make sure you sign up for our newsletter. We send out a once-a-week newsletter, no spam, about the most interesting local businesses, hotspots, restaurants, community events. Thanks for watching the show. Really appreciate you.